we're alive. Hopefully. We shall see. Theoretically. Hey Mom, Bug here. Playing Control again. Just a quick update for the day. Just going to do about a half hour here. I think when we left off, God, I don't even remember what we did. We'd gotten back from maintenance, right? Now we can go move freely throughout the building. So we're starting the mission Old Boys Club, and I have to find Marshall in research. And honestly, this is my favorite part of the game, because we get to go to research, and research is the coolest. Research is just the fucking coolest. So let's take the elevator down. Oh my God, I'm so excited. But yeah, we're just going to do a half hour here. Pretty brief episode. And after I finish Control for you, which will take a bunch more episodes, particularly if I'm only doing it a half hour at a time. But after I finish this, we're going to do some point and click adventures, it looks like. We're going to try to get a Surface Pro up and running so I can show you some point and click games that you might enjoy. Fun stuff. Those have existed since the dawn of time, and they're really great, so I'll probably go through and find a bunch of them. And then maybe some more horror stuff. I really would like to play Alan Wake at some point on this, so that there's a recording of it, and you can see that too. So, but yeah, it's a lovely sunny day. Everybody's stuck indoors because COVID, so we're just hanging out, playing video games, and doing nothing for the afternoon. All right, so this is research. It's going to give us that big, awesome font in a second here showing the word research. And this is seriously my favorite section of the game. Central Research. Central Research, Bureau of Control. And so here's our secretary desk, and here's our next presentation. Oh look, it autoplays.
Head of Research. Somebody thought this video would make for great internal communications. I'm looking at you, Mr. Tomasi. So, this is where the magic happens. Anyway, I've been here for 24 years now. I've always been here. And through those years, we've made astonishing discoveries, authored studies of grave importance, and in all this work, there is one thing we know, and that's how little we truly know. Rest assured, we're committed to keep pushing the known laws and borders of reality, and to make the Bureau proud. So, welcome. Assuming you have the necessary clearance, and do follow the safety protocols. Read the manual. Otherwise, bad things will happen.
Kind of funny. Bad things will happen if you don't read the manual.
Sector, huh?
There's a manual?
Home of
Like,
the Bureau's
news to
mad
me.
Scientists.
All right. So there's a couple, like I said, places where the map is intentionally occluded so that you don't get to a more difficult area too early on, and this is one of them. So the ritual division's here, and if we look at the map, you can see that across this wall is a whole other area that I can't get to yet. So I have to make my way there the long way, which is, of course, half the fun of video games. And Central Research is gorgeous. Don't ask me how they got the trees in here. I do not know. It also gives you really just like a huge, beautiful sense of scale. Oh, look, enemies! Hits are everywhere. They don't care if it's gorgeous or not. So I'll just kill these guys real quick. And I tweaked my audio settings a little bit so it should be easier to hear me over the sound of gunfire, which is important in this game. Alright, so you saw those columns of red. They just kind of tell me that there's more enemies spawning, like I said before, but also they tell me from where those enemies are spawning. Oh, and they're snipers. That long contrail that you saw, that telegraphs to me that these are enemy snipers as opposed to just regular enemies. But truth be told, I'm still not that good dealing with them. I didn't even see him. So they do two attacks. They'll throw things at you, those fly guys, and they will also ground pound in your face. Neither of which is a fun attack to be on the receiving end of. Let's run back up here a little way and see if I can get some of this health. So I'm going to need it, and then I will go back up to the central stairwell and explore a little bit. Everybody dead? Is that everybody? No, if it was everybody, that wall would be gone. Oh no, wait, there's hiss nodes here. Destroy those and see if that helps. Everything here is destructible. Just so satisfying. All right, so now I can get into parapsychology. So, but let's see what's back here. We've got a box, which gave me an intrusive pattern. Oh, that's a cool thing to pick up. Let's go back upstairs to where we started. I'm going to grab this mod. Whoa, more intrusive pattern. Nice. This little nook, it looks like it's just like a sitting and eating area, and it has a shelter. There's nothing back here other than this little shelter, which we'll go into. So yeah, one of the things that I love about this game so much is that they did design the buildings to be relatively believable, and they had to erect fake barriers to prevent you from getting from place to place. So this one says, a possible AWE in which an unnamed individual experienced transcorporeality via telephone line. Doesn't say much more about it than that. So, they've got these really cool statue things. I don't even know what that is. It's some kind of a gyroscope globe sphere thing. It's nifty. I can throw it at people, which is normally what I end up doing with it. But alright, let's go back up to the entryway. So we came in through here, and there's nothing, I don't think, at the secretary's desk up here. Don't believe so anyway. Oh, just hop that counter. Nope, nothing cool. That wall, these two dots, is a little suspicious, and you'll find out later why. It's actually an entrance from the backside of the building. This has a file in it. Let's grab that. Plant complaint. I was wondering about the plants and research. Is it really necessary to sing to them? I mean, the janitor does have a nice voice and the plants seem to like it. Maybe you could just switch it up a bit? I'm getting tired of the tango. Where did these plants even come from? No one seems to remember when they were planted. And people like them too much if you're asking me. Are we being invaded by houseplants? Worth looking into. Dr. Lewis. The houseplants here are a little bit sentient. They're a little bit sentient. And I'm not surprised that Ati sings to them. So this is cool. I was just telling Oni about this. This board is about a shoebox. Which is stupid, right? I think this is the only one in the game where it says this. Most of the boards are copy-paste and they just have like some random mathematical equations on them that make no sense. But this one says, some notes, I've stumbled into something here, only notes, early hypothesis, test needed, shoebox, retrieved from Ordinary, which is the town that Jesse's from. Potential altered item, not good, not flagged, sorry. AWE in the lab, everything else is affected, but the shoebox and contents were not. We repeated the experiment, same result. Reported recreated with a different shoebox at home. Same result. Shoeboxes can't be altered. Contents safe. Why? How? Loophole? We could use this. And then some other notes here about Ordinary, Samantha Wells, an altered event, and Bright Falls AWE 1970 summer 2010 fall. So that whole thing is a really interesting hidden message thing regarding the Alan Wake games and a very cool blog post that they did. So in, I think it was 2012. So this is about synchronicity. I'll read this really quick. Synchronicity is a phenomenon long recognized by the wise, but only recently given name by science. It's how we rationalize events connected with no identifiable causality, yet clearly conjoined in purpose. How does a dream foretell an event in the physical plane? Why do hounds bail at the sound of the death of their master, which has occurred miles away? The visionary Carl Jung laid the road, and we must walk it. My fledgling research department, we will make it our mission to reliably reproduce blank behavior by the close of 1959. Once done, the mechanics of synchronicity will lay themselves bare in due time. We're striding into the future of science. History may not remember our names, but God himself will. By authority of N.A., by Dr. Theodore Ashe, head of research. So that's interesting, because that means that Dr. Theodore Ashe had Darling's job before Darling had his job. I'm just going through and looking at anything new we might want to look at. We got some new multimedia, just the sector. We already saw that. And a new hotline. The board has something to say about the hiss. So it says, the hiss sesh spread is searching for transmission/speakers to corrupt/chaos. The astral plane is a conflux/switchboard. The hiss will come for us/all. You must stop/shut up them. So it's basically, I think, just a warning that the hiss is dangerous even to the board, which is interesting because the board are pretty all-powerful. These guys are always creepier in close quarters. I mean, it's weird to see them hovering in the middle of the lab, but it's weirder to see them hovering in here to me. I don't know. So, there was a blog. That's what I was saying. There was a blog. It was very, very cool. That was released in, I want to say, 2012, and it was all about this. It was a fake blog on a real website in the real world that was talking about this woman who's remodeling a house, and her house remodel had all sorts of weird stuff happening, and she was trying to figure out what was going on with the shoebox in her closet that had a bunch of photographs of people from the 70s and some poetry. And she never, in the blog, whoever was writing the blog, never actually wrote the words Alan Wake or any of the characters from Alan Wake's names, but it was all about those characters. It was kind of played as though she couldn't possibly know who they were, because nobody had written their names down, and everybody referred to each other by initials for whatever dumb reason. But the net effect of it was they basically had released a bunch of information and kind of teasers for the game Control, because it exists in the same universe as Alan Wake, way before the game Control came out. So that was really cool. And the shoebox was kind of the catalyst for all this, for this blog post. The woman was finding these poems by a poet in this shoebox. So the idea is that somebody from the Federal Bureau of Control got a hold of the shoebox, which is kind of a nice way to tie that in. So this is a security checkpoint for dimensional research, and arguably the coolest thing that I can't show you. Because this is not really unlocked until near the end of the game, but hell, we'll go explore and play with it now. So Trench is saying it's a changing labyrinth. You can never pass through. Thanks, Trench. That's helpful. That's helpful. We could listen to it. But so there's a security office, and then there's this, which is not part of the normal decor. A little bit strange. It's called the Ashtray Maze, and it's a hotel lobby. And it's a hotel lobby. Oh, that's like a little fountain thing. It's a hotel lobby that does not let you through. So I'm going to walk into this room, and I'm going to look around. And it's going to do that. And the wall behind me closed. I love this area. This is the coolest area in the freaking game. It just redirects you, theoretically infinitely. So, like, you want to go to that wall, and no, you can't go to that wall. So you have to go to this wall. And if you go to this wall, that fountain looks awfully familiar. Damn it! It let us right back out. So if we walk back through the maze, oh, it blocked off the wall. If we walk back through, it's going to do the same thing again. The first time you go through, yeah, it gives you this chest for, like, trying it a second time. I think that's the only thing you can get out of here at this point. But it's just so nifty. I could spend hours just playing around in a maze that rearranges itself. And as long as I don't go too far, I think I can walk right back out of it. It's weird. There's some damage to it, which I don't think is ever explained, but I think if I go backtrack, it'll let me go all the way through the loop again. But then once I'm far enough away from that wall, it resets. And you saw it kind of blip. It like blip resets. So that's it. That's all you can do in the Ashtray Maze right now. Later, you can go through the Ashtray Maze. There was that little blip of a message from Director Trench would have told us if we listened to the actual attached hotline phone call that it's an ashtray maze. Basically, there's a cigarette smoking in an ashtray, and that's actually an altered item. And if you bind that altered item, like how we bound the safe to get the ability to have a shield, right? Or like how we can levitate, well, not yet, but how we can juke forward because of the horse that we captured. If you use the ashtray maze, you can create a maze that only you can pass through, and people who you show how to pass through. So it's a maze for everybody except for your chosen few. So of course, that's where all the dangerous shit in the game is hidden. Trench and Darling hid everything back there because they didn't want anybody messing with it, which is, to be fair, very smart. But it also makes it very difficult because Darling's missing and Trench is dead. So like, how do we get back there? None of this matters till near the end of the game. But until then, it's just one of those things that I just, every time I saw it go past, I'm like, oh, I want to go explore there. This is so much fun. Why can't I go explore? And unfortunately, the biggest crime in this dang game is the fact that you can only play the ashtray maze once. Once you play through it, it becomes this quick time thing, or not quick time, quick event, where the next time you try to go through the ashtray maze, it just teleports you and like, oh, you did it, no big deal, you did it. You don't get to explore the maze again. Which is just some hot BS, in my opinion. They're talking about when they release the expansion for this game in September. Everybody's been asking, can you fix the ashtray maze so we can play it again maybe? Can you just make it so that we can play that loop infinitely? Because that's the people have described it as the most fun in a video game in the entire year of 2019. It was the most fun 3 minutes of video game in all of 2019. And I'm like, yeah, that's probably true. So we're going to parapsychology now. And we are not allowed through that opening, as you can probably tell.
She's in trouble.
So we can hear Marshall. It's like she's just on the other side of this wall. But we can't get to her. And there is a dead guardsman right there. I think he is wearing an HRA, so he's one of us, which sucks. You can kind of see there's a little audio thing here, but I can't get to it. It's all blocked off. But we can go this direction, which is a very fucked up hallway. So sure, yeah, let's go this direction. What's the worst that can happen? I think we gotta go up here, and do this, and then do this. And now we can get to parakinesology. I'm always going to mispronounce that. And sure enough, there are enemies waiting for us here, because of course there are. Oh, come on. We gotta have some weapons. Spawn more, because there's always two ways, I swear. If you see Jesse fussing into a gun, it probably means that I pressed the fire button and nothing happened because I'm out of bullets, but I wasn't paying attention, so I didn't realize I was out of bullets. Third wave. Okay, cool. Oh. Somebody had something exploding to throw at me. That was cool. And sometimes you gotta get right down in it so you can collect some of the health that you've been killing them for. Are we good? Everybody dead? We're good, everybody's dead. Some of these rooms, they just make red, I swear to God, just to fuck with you. What the fuck is that? That is a corrupted hiss individual in... Okay, well that's interesting. And like sweats. That doesn't seem like it matters, but that sure is fascinating, actually. There. They don't look good, do they? I don't think I saw them the first time on my way through. Alright, there's a file here. That's that unbreakable glass I was talking about. Emergency call supplement. Okay, this is actually the woman who got stuck in the phone lines, which is kind of sad. But it's not important for the game, so I'm not continuing it. Oh, another one! How did I not notice you people? How did I not see you? You do not look well. That's interesting. He looks kind of like a dude in sweats, and she looks kind of like a chick in sweats, and that office is full of levitating stuff. Cool, 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 cool. What's upstairs? Let's find out. I don't think there's anything up here. Black rock sealed door, table, janitor stuff, some test dummies that were probably having bouncy balls thrown at their faces. Feel kind of bad. Looks like those bouncy balls hit pretty hard. Poor guy. Alright, so we'll go this direction. And you can see down into the parapsychology department. And if you look at the map, you can actually see, so the parapsychology department is through that window, and the parapsychology elevator is right about where I was blocked off, and I couldn't get any further. So all I have to do is get around this circle of stuff, and we'll be safe. Oh, and another presentation.
The astral plane. Similar to an iceberg, what you see is not what you always get. Regardless, this place is vitally
Trying to find a way to make the audio not suck.
Most information on the astral plane is classified, but we can talk in broad strokes, keeping in mind that these are staggeringly complex systems, and simplification does them no justice. Now, the white non-space, the ever-present inverted black pyramid.
It's a descriptive diagram you have there. It's just a triangle. You just drew a triangle.
The process of choosing a director tied to all objects of power in terms of who controls them. Yes.
That was not informational. Thanks, buddy. Alright, so we're going to grab this control point. Like I said, this is one of those like non-contested control points, which pretty much just means it's a useful way to fast travel and save your gameplay. Let's go on through here. And that looks awfully familiar, doesn't it? Doesn't that just look like the astral plane that we have been to and know and love? Less golden. There's more gold in our astral plane. I don't know, there's a little. It's just hard to see. There's a little bit of gold to that, isn't there? Yeah, it's black and gold marble. So they're studying the astral plane in this department. Parakinesology has a lot to do with the astral plane. So the astral exhibition was originally built for astronauts to use as a training location. Astronauts are people who go to the astral plane. A place to grow accustomed to the sights and sounds of the astral plane before diving into the real thing. We could have done a better job with it, but blank was being stingy with the budget. Probably Northmore. However, once we discovered blank, we decided to repurpose this space. Similar to how zoos hope familiar surroundings will affect the well-being of animals, we attempted to observe the blank's behavior in an environment similar to its home dimension. So far, it just breaks everything we put in it with it. But Rome wasn't built in a day. Refer to file blank addendum. New naming conventions have been established for the astral entity now known as astral spike. Outdated terms in the report have been redacted. So this was written by Casper Darling. So I'm betting it was Northmore who was being stingy. Some boring stuff all over the walls and counters. This is what I mean by like most of the whiteboards are reused. This one's pretty much just a grungy whiteboard with some notes posted on it, but the notes show the astral plane. And you can see here, these are like pictures of the astral plane, look like black and white kind of grainy photographs, but they show that inverted black pyramid that we're used to seeing. So other people have been there. It is not a unique location, which is interesting. Also, this is a kind of weird video. Doesn't look like anything, right? Like it's hard to tell what the heck's going on. We're going to see something that looks a lot like that later in the game. It looks like an eyeball shining light. And when I first saw this, I'm like, I can't get the room dark enough to see. I can't shoot out the lights because the light in here is that house-generated fake daylight. So I was like, maybe I'm just not seeing what's going on here. And then I saw an enemy that looked like this, and I went, oh shit, that was some foreshadowing. Okay. This is an introduction to preternatural topics.
The hypothesis was that the mindscape of the astral plane is subjective. But that was fast proven wrong. It's an actual place, not a construct of the mind, even though it is with our minds that we enter and experience it. But then one could argue that that's the case with all reality. We've been able to record footage of the astral plane by monitoring the brain activity of those experiencing it. That is the only concrete material that has come out of the astral plane expeditions, apart from one shocking exception.
It's a pretty shocking exception. It's pretty shocking.
Footage, we're always in the vicinity of the pyramid. We've concluded that this, not the entire plane, is what the board controls. We have glimpsed movement, native species, always in the distance, and yet contact was made. We don't have footage of this, a technical malfunction, but when one of our astronauts returned, a brain cloud, an astral fugue, had hitchhiked a ride in his head. It ruptured out, killing the subject in question. It's
that's pretty bad footage, right? You're thinking that's pretty bad footage. Wait for it.
The entity feeds on. Proper containment protocols are to be observed when dealing with it.
So, there's a couple things that are interesting about that video that I just think are weird. You notice there was no actual footage of Darling in that one. I think maybe they didn't know that they were going to have to include that until late, and they were like, oh shit, we got to record an old footage. Okay, just get them into a sound studio. We're just not going to have the actual actor show up for this.
I can't believe they'd keep that thing here.
This is a little bit more shocking than just like Darling's, apart from one shocking exception. That's not shocking, that's one holy shit fucking Christ, we're all going to die exception. That's a big fucking deal. Why do you have that thing in the room? So, yeah, these things can get into the real world, apparently. We'd seen them in the astral plane. We dodged them in the astral plane. But why the hell they're keeping one? Yeah, that's a good question, Jesse. I don't know. So, alright. Let's go poking. Hey, buddy. Hey, friendo. How's it going, my dude? How you feeling? You hungry? You a hungry bro? So, this is a little bit of a puzzle. We basically just want to provide energy to this barricade. And then we're going to lure Friendo into this room. Come on, Friendo. I'd be delicious to eat. Follow me. I'm gonna lure Friendo into this room, and then I'm going to try to dodge him as best I can and trap him in here, which always ends up with me getting injured. Book it! Keep booking it. Did I get him? Did I get him? Did I get him? Yes! Thank Christ. Alright.
What was the Bureau?
It's helpful to know these these tricks already, because this room almost killed me the first time I went through. I'm just like, what am I supposed to do with him? I can shoot him 1,000,000 times. He doesn't take damage. It was very frustrating. So that opens this door, so I can actually leave, which is good, because we're so close to Marshall.
Marshall, are you still there?
Shit.
I can't
so
reach
close.
her.
We need to hurry.
Almost there. So let's go just a little bit further. This room's gonna suck. Oh yeah. So we've seen these before. Those boys provide health to everybody else in the room, and the other enemies in the room are essentially unkillable until I kill that sphere first. Aha! Oh, that was an explosive. Glad that didn't hit me in the face. Woo! Isn't it funny how I say something like that doesn't hit me in the face and then try to get hit in the face with the next one? I have all of the best habits about being players. They say things like, you should keep moving, don't hold still, holding still gets you killed. And what do? I hold still. That's how this works, right? Okay, so that was everybody except for this mother teacher, who actually is an enemy, I think. But I killed him, so we're good. Alright, well the doors are still blocked, which must mean there's more enemies, and sure enough, here they are. And you die too. Woo! I'm pretty sure it's gonna spawn a high level enemy up there in a bit. See that big red glow? That is one of those. Oh, grenade launchy boy. I don't remember if I can launch grenades back at them. I think I tried and I can't. So I think I just have to dodge him and his grenade. Oh, there's somebody down here. Kill you first. Yeah, we lost some frames there. Whole game slowed down just a little bit. Just a tad. Let's just hold grenade launcher today. No, I didn't. Not yet. Not yet. Nearly. Alright. Okay. Got through all those grenade launchy guys. Alright, let's grab this file. What's it say? Oh, I don't want to... what was our file? Got an we got a collectible. It was, must have been a research and record. I don't know, we may never know. I forgot to look at the name. And it was trying to give me a question. That is what was going on there. Well, let's go for this one. What's this say? This one is about groupthink. Groupthink. The study extends the works of Irving Janis, Robert Barron, and others by proposing strong causal links between groupthink and passive or active use of telepathy. To prove these connections, the parapsychology department carried out variations of Solomon Ash's original conformity experiment using a telepathic individual as the subject. Extensive qualitative and quantitative data resulting from these experiments was then used to identify telepathic interference within the group. Further empirical findings suggest measures can be taken to safeguard against telepathic interference or on behaviors engaging in blank. Rather boldly, this paper stands to revolutionize decades of groupthink theory and provide new directions for further experimentation. Parapsychology is cool. Parapsychology is weird. Parapsychology department's probably morally gray. Let's cleanse that control point. So down there is that walkway that I couldn't get through earlier, and we are cleansing the control point. And then I can get through, and now I'll be able to come and go as I please, and I can talk to Marshall. So you would think I'm going to run up and talk to Marshall, but I'm not. It's been about 30 minutes, so I'm going to save, and we're going to end this here, and I will come back, and you'll have to meet Marshall in the next video. See, I gave you a reason to come back, Mom. So, I hope this was fun. I hope you had a good time. I hope it wasn't too explanation heavy. There was like 3 videos during this, 2 or 3 videos, and a whole bunch of reading notes. But that's like half the game, and honestly, I just make the gameplay look so easy, you know. It's not like it's actually pretty easy. Not like I'm playing on easy mode or anything. So, I hope you had a good time. If you're mom, I love you. If you're not mom, I love you. And I hope you guys all have a great day.